Hello everybody, Cade Kennedy here in the Ranger Room. Just wanted to let you know to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the video. Whenever you're able to do either of those things, it helps the channel grow as quick as it possibly can. Also, as always, a reminder that we will be live streaming this Tuesday and Thursday on Twitch TV/NWTV7 at 5:30 Central Time. And as always, you can catch all that with the links in the description below. Now, on to the video. Hello everybody, Cade Kennedy here in the Ranger Room studio. Just want to get you caught up on this Memorial Day about some softball you may or may not have missed depending on what's going on. Getting right into the recap, starting with the Norman Super Regional. Oklahoma, UCF, and the Sooners just take care of business. What else did you expect from the #1 team in the country, run-ruling UCF in the first game 8-0 and beating UCF in the second game 7-1. The Sooners, once again, without Jordy Ball on the mound, but it really didn't matter. Hope Troutwine just playing an absolutely amazing game, and Nicole May just cleaning it up as well. And you really don't need to have elite pitching when you have the offense Oklahoma does, but it's another little trick, I guess you could say, that the Sooners have up their sleeve. Whenever you're able to have dominant pitching and a dominant offense, it is truly a killer 1-2 combo. Jocelyn Allo, of course, getting a home run in Game 2, one of her final at-bats she'll ever have in Meridia Hines Field, and being able to finish off with a home run, truly just amazing, poetic stuff there. But, I mean, Grace Lyons played well. She had a multi-home run game. Jana Johns getting back into her groove, getting a home run. Just everything clicking for Oklahoma, which is what you expect them to do when they get to the postseason. But they're playing phenomenal once again. And moving on to where the #2 national seed usually is, not here this year, Florida State eliminated by Mississippi State. So Mississippi State getting to come back to Starkville for the first time ever to host a Super Regional, taking on a softball powerhouse in Arizona. And unfortunately for the Bulldogs, they could not contain the Wildcats at all. Arizona was able to hang around in Game 1. It felt like Mississippi State was ready to break it open at any single minute, but it just never could happen for Mississippi State. Game goes to extra innings, and Arizona gets a 3-2 win in Game 1. And then Game 2, it was all Arizona all the time, getting a 7-1 win. This Arizona team, a bit under the radar this year, one of the last teams in the tournament. No Mike Candrea coaching him this year, instead getting a first-year head coach, and my goodness, they have done a tremendous job. I just can't believe what Arizona's been able to do in 1 year. It has been absolutely incredible. So Arizona, it doesn't matter who's in charge at Arizona, but they're still going to the World Series. And moving on to one of the biggest shockers of the entire Super Regional round, Florida upsetting Virginia Tech 2-1. Hokies able to take the first game. Keller Richard having a great pitching game. 6-0 there. Virginia Tech getting the win in a game that started one day, got suspended into the next day because of rain, even though they could have played it. I'm not the one to say about confusion there, but my goodness, that has got to be headache-inducing when it's clearer outside and they still don't play the game. But Virginia Tech gets a 6-0 win. You switch it up pitching-wise, and Florida just all over the Hokies in the next one, 7-2. And Florida, this was something that people wondered, would their pitching be able to hold up? And absolutely it was able to. They were able to take advantage of errors in the outfield by Virginia Tech and in the infield as well. Gators getting that 7-2 win there, and then Florida just absolutely laying it on in Game 3, a 12-0 run rule. So if you had the #2 and #3 teams in the country being out before OKC, I mean, props to you, but I don't know how many people were going to call that. Gators going back to the World Series. Another upset occurred in the Fayetteville Super Regional. Arkansas having their best team yet. And it doesn't matter. Texas goes on the road again. They get punched in the mouth in Game 1, 7-1. Dulcini back on the mound. It doesn't matter. Texas is going to be able to lock you down. This is something they've done time and time again this year. They get a 3-1 win against one of the best offenses in the country, shutting them down 3-1. And then Game 3 being forced in Texas. No Dulcini. You bring in a true freshman. It doesn't matter. Texas plays well enough to get the win and holding one of the best home run hitting teams in the country to 0 at home. That is absolutely incredible defense and pitching, and I really don't know what to say about this Texas team. There's been so much that we've thought about, and they've done a complete 180 this entire year. We started Clearwater. It looked like Texas was not going to be able to even sniff a super regional in most people's eyes. And then as the season progressed, they slowly got better. You started to see the improvement. You upset Oklahoma. I think that was really the big turning point for this team, showing we can beat anybody. We just beat the number 1 team in the country. You can absolutely beat anybody. And, I mean, that mentality stuck with Texas going into the postseason, and here they are, making just their 6th ever appearance in Oklahoma City. Moving on to good old Westwood, California, UCLA. What a shocker. UCLA being good at softball. Stop me if you've heard that one before. You'd stop me a lot. This is going to be over 30 times now UCLA has made it to Oklahoma City. I want to say it's their 31st time making it to the Women's College World Series. And the Bruins had a little bit of trouble with Duke in Game 1. Duke making their first ever super regional appearance in that short lifetime of that program. They're on a good track, I would say, the Blue Devils, but when you run into UCLA, you have a lot of different problems to deal with, and the Bruins able to completely shut them down in Game 2. After a rocky start in Game 1, still got a 3-2 win for UCLA, but the Bruins getting an 8-2 win in Game 2. UCLA going back to OKC. A bit of a crazy one here, the Stanford Super Regional. Many people thought this would be Alabama versus Tennessee. Well, we did get a red versus an orange, just not the conference you were expecting. Stanford and Oregon State. The Beavers won the regular season series 2-1. They come into Stanford once again, getting a 3-1 win and a 2-0 win. These were some fast games. These were some lower scoring games. That's exactly what Oregon State and Stanford are comfortable with. But the Beavers' offense just a bit better than Stanford, able to get around Vaughter and make sure she was not as effective as she usually is. 3-1 in the first game, 2-0 in the second game, and Oregon State, for the first time since 2006, is going to Oklahoma City. Moving on to the quickest series, getting done on Friday night before anybody else was. Oklahoma State able to lock down Clemson. Tigers making their first ever trip to a super regional, only the 3rd year of the program's existence. You could say they're on the right track there at Clemson. But running into Oklahoma State, 2-0 win for the Cowgirls in their first game, getting the celebration there, 1 game away, and they get a 5-1 win. The offense coming to life a bit more for the Cowgirls. This is going to be the 3rd straight Women's College World Series appearance for Oklahoma State, and with Kenny Gajewski locking up a contract extension until 2027, I expect Oklahoma State to continue to make it as often as they are, especially with Oklahoma and Texas leaving for the SEC in a few years. It's going to turn into Oklahoma State versus UCF pretty quickly in the Big 12 softball world. And the final super regional to talk about, probably the most interesting super regional to talk about, Northwestern goes into Tempe and upsets Arizona State 2-1. A lot of extra innings played in these. Northwestern coming from behind to get a 4-3 win in Game 1. This is something I know we talked about on the show, Northwestern having a good enough pitching staff to shut down good offenses, and Arizona State kind of more of a turnstile of a team where you never really know what you're going to get from them. You're going to give up a lot of runs, but you're going to score some runs, and getting outscored in that one for the Sun Devils. But Game 2 was a bit of a different story. Northwestern a bit more in control of that one, it felt like early. Arizona State comes back. They take the lead. They look like they're going to force a Game 3, and Northwestern getting a run right at the final possible chance. 2 outs, top of the 7th. They get a run, send that one to extra innings, but Arizona State winning 7-4 in 8 innings there. And then Game 3 being forced. And this was a wild one. Arizona State gets up 5-0 at the end of 3 innings, but the Sun Devils just able to do nothing. They just do absolutely nothing with it. Northwestern able to claw their way back in this game. Wildcats score 8 unanswered runs. It felt like this is the end for Arizona State. They get a bit of a rally. They get a run in the bottom of the 7th, but it is not enough as Arizona State goes down 8-6, and Northwestern, for the first time since 2007, will come to Oklahoma City. So looking at the World Series bracket starting on Thursday morning at 11 a.m., UCLA taking on Texas. At 1:30, Oklahoma playing Northwestern, going to be that top bracket there. And the nightcap, Florida, Oregon State at 6, and Oklahoma State and Arizona at 8:30. We will have a lot of special coverage Thursday. It'll be a fun time with the World Series going on, NBA Finals that night. We will be here a bit earlier than usual on Thursday. It'll be a 4:30 show more than likely. Whenever the Women's College World Series gets over, we'll go on about 10-15 minutes, or try to go on within 10-15 minutes of that game, Oklahoma Northwestern game ending. And we will be here all the way up to the beginning of the next World Series game, getting you excited for not only the second part of the World Series that day, but Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Until next time, see you later.